What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Apologies for missing a couple days. I had to drop my laptop off for service, but we're back now and so we can keep recording. So today we're using a cool team built by Hodder. This made it all the way to 5th place in the Players' Cup 4 qualifier. And I really like it for a couple reasons. Primarily is Slurpuff. Slurpuff is something you don't see every day, but I like the fact that it has Unburden and really works well with Tapu Lele to get some aggressive pressure on with things like String Shot, Fake Tears, and Yawn. So that can really help set up for a lot of Pokemon, especially Tapu Lele with the specs and the fact that you can lower some special defenses with Fake Tears and then just get off a huge either Psychic or Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, depending on what's necessary. There's also Metagross with Weakness Policy. And one thing of worth noting is it has Steel Roller, which one indicates that you really want to max this because of the huge increase in damage, but there's also just the big fact that it can work with Tapu Lele Psychic Surge as well to use it even if you're not maxed. There is also a pretty standard Porygon 2, as well as an Incineroar with Snarl, which I feel like I haven't seen too much, as Taunt has kind of taken priority, but not a big deal. And finally, there is the Zapdos. So here is the rental code. I'll make sure to include all info below, and yeah, let's just hop right into the first game. All right, game number 1, and it is Spectrier with a Regieleki, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Incin, and Togekiss. What is Slurpuff speed? Check summary. It is 136, so that jumps to not enough to outspeed. Not enough, unfortunately, to outspeed Regieleki. Metagross, I think, is valuable because of Clear Body, but the fear is if that Spectrier has, what's it called? If Spectrier has Will-O-Wisp. So that's not something I really want to chance in the early game. So I'm going to do, Incin. I like Lele a lot. Incin Lele, maybe? Let's do Incin Lele with Slurpuff and Metagross, right? Because Porygon's not going to do much. Zapdos is tempting. I'm going to actually go with Zapdos over Slurpuff, right? Yeah. I think Zapdos makes sense. There is now the question of what do I want to max? Do I want to max the Metagross or do I want to max the Zapdos? I think both have merit, and I think it really depends on what my opponent chooses to bring out. Luckily, the fact that they do have Rillaboom means there is another option for terrain control and something else for me to Steel Roller. So they're going to lead with Rillaboom Incin versus a Lele and Incineroar. So there is no... Oh, the Rillaboom is slower, so they are going to be able to fake out. Let's see which Incin goes first with Intimidate to know who is faster. So we are looking at... They're going to go first, which is actually shocking because this one actually has a fair bit of bulk. Zapdos is actually a pretty safe switch. So what I'm actually tempted to do is... I could Parting Shot. I'm afraid of Rillaboom. I like Parting Shot into their Incineroar and swapping out Tapu Lele into Zapdos, because then what I'm thinking is if I can set up Zapdos, yeah. So what I'm hoping for a fake out into Zapdos. Okay, and then oh wow, nice. Get a Paralysis. Do they Grassy Glide into Zapdos as well? Yep, we are gonna see. Oh, that's really nice. So we're gonna see the double up into the Tapu Lele, which lets me get a Parting Shot off, and now I can bring out Lele next to Zapdos, which is gonna be really scary because they don't have access to priority. So now I can pretty safely start setting up with Tapu Lele. Yeah, because Layla is going to get rid of the Psychic Surge, I mean, not the Psychic Surge, I set up Psychic Surge, is getting rid of Grassy Surge, so they no longer have priority with Grassy Glide. They have Urshifu. Yeah, honestly, I feel really fine just going for a Dazzling Gleam and a Max Airstream into the Rillaboom. I expect them to switch out the Rillaboom. It looks okay, so they're staying in, which I should be able to hopefully knock out the Rillaboom. They will be able to Parting Shot into Zapdos, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I think I mean, they're probably going to Parting Shot into something. They could also honestly also Snarl, which is something to be worried about. We are going to get a big Airstream, okay, into Rillaboom, picking up the knockout. So it probably was banded given the damage output. And now, we're going to get off a Moonblast, or not a Moonblast, a Dazzling Gleam. And let's see how much, or what the Incineroar goes for now. So that does over half. They're going to Flare Blitz into Zapdos, which, unfortunate crit, but I still think, yeah, because of the recoil, this is also a really good position because of the fact that now I don't really have much to worry about from their team, right? Because if they bring out most likely Regieleki, I think would be their best option if they brought it. Spectrier might still outspeed the Zapdos, which, okay, so they are going to bring a Spectrier, which is fine because Spectrier doesn't have spread. So we're going to be able to do this. What do I have in the back? I still have Metagross, right? No, I want to see my own Pokemon. I still have Metagross and Incineroar, so I'm not super, super worried about Spectrier at this point. I think go for another Airstream into the Spectrier. Yeah, because we're trying to set up for Lele. I'm guessing they're not they're not maxing Spectrier, which goes down to an Airstream, and then we're going to be able to get a lot of damage onto this Incineroar, and with the recoil, it should knock out the Incineroar, but I might lose Zapdos as a result. Right, let's see. Yeah, because Lele, so close. They're going to Parting Shot, which is interesting because there is the Psychic terrain up, and because of the fact that Zapdos is at +2, I should outspeed a Regieleki, and then with the next Airstream, they have Togekiss as their last. Interesting. So I can, Max Lightning and Dazzling Gleam? That combo should be able to finish off. Oh! They can Fake Out because, what's it called? They can Fake Out because there is, no, they can't Fake Out, because I was going to say because Zapdos is flying, but that doesn't actually matter because of the fact that Zapdos is max, so it's unaffected by flinching. So, there's the Fake Out. I get just wanting a little bit of chip, but I honestly don't think it mattered, because this should do, it brings Togekiss all the way down, and then Lele is going to go faster, and Lele is going to finish it off. So, great start. I think setting up Zapdos was really essential, and the fact that Lele is honestly such a powerhouse, and it can really synergize with the rest of this team well in terms of setting up that Psychic Surge for things like Metagross and the Slurpuff, and also just getting that huge damage output. And I think the fact that I was able to set them up next to each other in such a good way really let me get a lot of steamrolling momentum that my opponent just could not catch up to. But great first game. Let's just keep rocking and rolling, and I'll see all of you in game number 2. All right, game number 2, and this is interesting. It is a Lapras with Rillaboom. You have a Grimmsnarl, Togekiss, Urshifu, and Raichu. The Raichu makes things a little bit tricky because of the fact that it can stomp a lot of my attacks that are going to want to target down that are going to want to target down Lapras, mainly being the Thunderbolt. But at the same time, my opponent doesn't actually really have a good answer to Metagross. So I like Metagross and... No, cause I want to do Tapu Lele actually, because Tapu Lele... Do I want Tapu Lele? Tapu Lele... Yeah, Tapu Lele prevents any sort of prankster shenanigans. Or, no. I could do Incin to do the switch out into Tapu Lele, expecting them to try and do something. Yeah, because Incin will be slower than something, so that could theoretically allow the switch. And then for a fourth, Porygon, not going to do much. Probably Zapdos again. Yeah, Zapdos has the advantage that if I can get rid of the Raichu, it can actually handle the rest of the team really well, which is a good position to be in. The only question is, can I set that up? Still a little bit sad that I haven't been able to bring this Slurpuff quite yet, but I think it was definitely a hard sell. I think there are situations where it can function really well, but this might not have been one of them. Okay, so they're going to lead with Togekiss and Raichu, which is actually really... It's pretty good for me because Raichu... Raichu can Nuzzle. So what? I expect the Togekiss to switch out. So I'm going to protect Metagross, and I'm going to Flare Blitz into the Raichu? Does that make sense? Yeah, let's do that. Because Oh, they're going to max Togekiss. Interesting. This is a little bit tricky because I think at this point I'm so worried about the Raichu going for a Nuzzle that I'm actually putting myself in a pretty precarious spot. We're gonna see. Yeah, that was a really bad turn one on my part, because now I've lost a huge amount of momentum. They're gonna Max Flare into the Metagross. That's gonna trigger the policy, and yikes. Yeah, that critical hit also really hurt. They are going to trigger my policy, but that honestly isn't going to matter. This does mean, though, that my Incin has a boost to its Flare Blitz, which could be helpful, but the Raichu, I'm guessing, is Sash, so that's not going to matter. Oh, Raichu is not Sash. This is interesting. So, we are able to get out the Raichu. I think it's worth sacrificing the Metagross, honestly, because that'll let me bring out Zapdos. And now, okay, so it's Urshifu Water. I'm fine to use Steel Roller onto the Togekiss. No, because I don't want to Steel Roller onto it, because I don't want to... What's it called? I don't want to switch out Lele. I'm going to just go for a Zen Headbutt and go for... What, Snarl? Snarl is tempting, because now at this point, what I'm basically doing is I'm setting up Tapu Lele and Zapdos once again, because Zapdos is pretty free. They're going to close combat into Incin. Zapdos is a really good matchup into Togekiss, and then Tapu Lele also is a really good matchup into Urshifu, and I'm guessing Urshifu has a Sash. So, yeah, we're gonna burn 2 of their turns of max. We are down 2-4. Yeah, they get... Oh, so this is Crit Kiss. That's actually really important. That's really scary. I can't really let that thing set up. But Urshifu, because of the sun, doesn't have good damage into my Zapdos. And there's also the big fact that there is... what's it called? There is the sun right now. So the question being, do I want to risk getting rid of the terrain Because what I'm thinking is Moonblasting to bring Urshifu. I mean, not Moonblasting, Dazzling Gleam. Because that'll bring Urshifu down to its hash and get chip damage on Togekiss. And then a Max Lightning onto the Togekiss. Because, yeah, there is reduced damage. Actually, the reduced damage doesn't matter because of the Surging Strikes. They're going to switch, which I think is a pretty good call. Yeah, they're going to bring out Rillaboom, which I'm totally fine with. The Grassy Surge will help Tapu Lele, but it does allow them to get a pretty free fake out the next turn onto Lele. But let's see, we're gonna get the max. I'm hoping a combination of the Lightning and Dazzling Gleam should take out this Togekiss. Togekiss I know is, oh god, sorry about the frame rate. We're gonna get Max Lightning. The frame rate is not doing well right now. That is going to get it super low. So as long as Tapu Lele, I think Tapu Lele from this range should be able to knock out the Togekiss. Dazzling Gleam connects, and nice. That's huge. So we do manage to pick up the knockout on Togekiss. We know they have Urshifu in the back, which can't really do much to either Zapdos or Lele, especially with the sun up. And we can take out this Rillaboom the next turn with an Airstream. They're going to bring back Urshifu. So I still think Dazzling Gleam and go for an Airstream into the Rillaboom. Because we want to, if we can knock out the Rillaboom, what is the fear? The fear is what? They fake out. Oh, wow. They're just going straight for Surging Strikes. Which, I mean, I think it makes sense. But yeah, this is not going to knock out Lele for sure. And now I think, yeah, with the Airstream boost, what that'll mean is the subsequent turn, they will have to go for an Aqua Jet. And then, yeah, we should be able to take it out from there with another Dazzling Gleam. And then the thing is, like, what do they have as the last slot? So, I mean, yeah, Zapdos and Tapu Lele really, really doing a lot right now. I think this is just such a powerful combination, and yet we do see the Focus Sash on the Urshifu, but yeah, Zapdos with Life Orb. Oh, they have nothing left. Okay, so yep, Dazzling Gleam into Urshifu, and then let's just go for an Airstream for style points, and that should be game. Yep, cool. So. What was my opponent's other one? Ensign? Yeah. What happened to Ensign? I don't know. I'm forgetting what my opponent brought. But yeah, once again, Lele and Zapdos, I think just such a powerful combination, especially because of the fact that Zapdos with the Life Orb is doing a ton of damage. You have something like Airstream, which is unquestionably like the most powerful max, to boost speed, and that's going to allow Tapu Lele with its specs to really just kind of clean up. So, I mean, this team is incredible. I love it, and we are going to show off the Slurpuff at some point. But yeah, let's just keep rocking and move to the next game. All right, game number 3, and it is Metagross with Grimmsnarl, Tapu Fini Garchomp with Regieleki and an Incineroar. Once again, I think Zapdos is really big. I want to bring Slurpuff because it does a lot against most of my opponent's team, but because of the Metagross, I think it's a really hard sell. I definitely want to bring my own Metagross. The question now is what are the 4 that I bring? I think there's an argument for Porygon because of foul play. So I like Porygon, Metagross? Porygon, Metagross I think makes sense with Zapdos, and then Lele does a lot. Ensign. What do I think does more? I think I think Lele does more because of the fear of screens with Grimmsnarl. Being able to just get as much damage off as possible, I think is going to be really critical. So now, let's see, what is it, yeah. What am I most afraid of here? They're gonna leave Metagross Grimmsnarl, which ironically is what I am most afraid of. This is the question though, is do I think they are Sucker Punch Metagross? I'm gonna go for, yeah, because what I'm thinking is Max Steel Spike on Grimmsnarl. This Metagross does have speed. So what I'm hoping is if theirs does not, we can get a defense boost before, and then even if they are Sucker Punch, we will be able to have Porygon 2 go for something like a, what is it called? A Foul Play into a +2 Metagross that's super effective. And that should hopefully secure a KO. I think if not, I mean, we still do have Zapdos with Heat Wave in the back, and they have no good way to really boost their speed. So we are going to see, okay, so they're going to max, and more importantly, like I said, we are going first. So if they're going to be Sucker Punch, that's really good for us. The fear though is Grimmsnarl could also be Trick Lagging Tail, which I think is something also to consider. Okay, so they're going to go straight for Reflect, which makes sense. We're going to be able to get a Steel Spike boost onto their Grimmsnarl. We are faster. Grimmsnarl does live. A little bit unfortunate, but wait, I think Porygon has Prankster. It totally does, which means that I can recover off a lot of their damage. So let's see how much Foul Play does. Foul Play is going to, oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Let's Steel Spike into the Grimmsnarl once again. Try and get our defense up. I'm hoping now Foul Play will do a sizable chunk, and then if I can live with Porygon, I can. Okay, so they're setting up screens, which I think is fine. We are going to be able to knock out their Grimmsnarl. We're getting our defenses up against them as they have their weakness policy triggered. I don't have mine triggered, but at the same time we do have +2 defense, so we should be able to eat another hit from their from their Metagross, and yeah, they're also going to Steel Spike. And I think this is really smart. They're not triggering my weakness policy, because that means my damage output is going to be significantly less, but we're going to get another Foul Play off. This is going to do a pretty sizable chunk. And now the question is, what are they going to bring out? They're going to bring out... This is interesting, though, because of the fact that Porygon has Prankster, and I have the ability to... Okay, so they're bringing out Regieleki, which means I could Eerie Impulse. That's actually really funny. I can Eerie Impulse the Regieleki. I'm going to just go straight for a Recover, and I'm going to Quake into the Aleki. And I think this... Right? I mean, Porygon has Prankster, right? It got it from the Grimmsnarl, because... I hope so. Otherwise, I'm banking on something that's not there. Yeah, it has Trace, and Porygon was in front of Grimmsnarl, so I should be able to get this Recover off. And then what I can do is now their Metagross is going to finish its max, and so is mine. And now, while theirs does have the attack boost, what? I don't really know where I'm going with this. So we do get the Recover off. They're most likely going to Electro Ball. That does a pretty sizable chunk. We are going to get a Max Quake off into the Regieleki, which should hopefully finish it off. Yep, we're going to get rid of that. And now we do have a pretty healthy Porygon with a fair amount of bulk at this point, because it has we both have what, +2 defense, +1 special defense. They're going to Steel Spike into the Porygon again, but I mean, Porygon at this point being able to priority recover has really let it get into a favorable position. And we know that their Metagross doesn't have any more reliable damage. Okay, so they're going to bring up Garchomp. I still like Recover, because what I'm thinking now at this point is we've seen Grimmsnarl, so these are their last two, and we still have Lele and Zapdos, and I feel pretty comfortable just to recover with Porygon and then Stomping Tantrum. I'm going to Stomping Tantrum into their Metagross, because what I'm hoping is I'm hoping they'll trigger my policy with their Garchomp. They also could go for, they could protect Earthquake. And I think that was actually very obvious. Yikes. Okay, so they're not protecting. And I'm thinking Garchomp is going to hit into my... Oh, they're just going to Rock Slide. Smart. Try and get some flinches. They do have Life Orb, so we do have a way of just putting on a lot of pressure onto them. Yeah, their Metagross just needs to be hit on the special side at this point. They're going to just try and flinch Porygon, which is legit. I'm going to Foul Play onto their Metagross and go for a Zen Headbutt onto Garchomp, with the idea that let's try and get some more damage. I can keep recovering. I need Porygon to live this turn, and then I can recover up. And so that's honestly kind of my plan, is just to recover stall. And there's the Swords Dance. This plan suddenly got a lot scarier. We do connect Zen Headbutt, which is huge. That does not that much, but I mean every little bit does count. They are going to Ice Punch into Porygon, probably trying to get the freeze, and we're going to connect with another Foul Play there, which is pretty good. We're almost in range of taking out Metagross. I think recover Porygon and Stomping Tantrum into the Garchomp. What I'm thinking then is, if we can get Porygon healthy enough, setting up Trick Room might be the better way to beat this Garchomp. Garchomp, yeah, at this point is the focus. Porygon, luckily, is tanking these hits, and that is huge. We're going to get a Stomping Tantrum off into Garchomp, and just that, yeah, I was going to say that's a crit. And now we're going to take some Rough Skin Recoil, and that should put it in range where one more Life Orb will take it out. They are going to Stomping Tantrum into my Metagross, which is unfortunate, but we can safely bring out Tapu Lele. What is the optimal play here? Bring out Zapdos, protect. Yeah, I think bring out Zapdos, protect it this turn while I recover with I don't need to recover. I'm going to Foul Play the Metagross, and this is honestly a good turn to go for let's Foul Play the Garchomp and protect with Zapdos. So what I'm thinking is, if they hit into Zapdos with a Rock Slide, they're gonna Rock Slide. They're going to connect onto Porygon. Porygon's gonna take a little bit of chip. Now the question is, Okay, so they're going to go down to recoil, and then as long as Porygon doesn't flinch here, I think we should be able to take out the Metagross. Okay, so yeah, we're going to flinch, but that's fine. We can continue to recover. Yeah, I think with recover and Thunderbolt from Zapdos, this should be enough to finish off the Metagross, right? They can't. Yeah, this should pretty clearly, not clearly, but I can't really see how they can. Yeah, they're gonna cancel. I think rightly so. The fact that I was able to really position my Metagross well. I actually think, I mean, it's not even Metagross this game. I think it was Porygon, and it was the fact that we were able to set up a Prankster onto Porygon with recover, and then just make it so it was just not able to be brought down, and then using consistent damage from things like foul play really kind of sealed the deal. We're doing pretty well. Yeah, let's play one more with this team for today, and let's just hop into the next one. All right, battle number 4, and this is a very aggressive Trick Room team. There is a Marowak with Porygon. You have Goodra. You have Vileplume, Weezing, and Pyukumuku. What is an optimal lead against this? Tapu Lele. I think Tapu Lele is probably a solid max option. I like Incin. Yeah, Tapu Lele deals with so much, but at the same time, I think also so does Zapdos. I like Zapdos as a lead. Zapdos as a lead has the advantage that Weezing isn't really going to affect it too much. Zapdos Metagross is tempting, because if I can stop their Trick Room, I set myself up really well. Let's bring Lele, and then what is Slurpuff going to do? There is the argument for Slurpuff. Slurpuff does his yawn. I think the fear of Weezing makes it hard to justify Slurpuff. And then let's bring Porygon. I think having an option for Trick Room is really good, because that Alolan Marowak, if it sets up, is really scary. So being able to kind of deal with it early, I think will make a big difference overall. And so let's see, my opponent is going to lead with Porygon 2 and Goodra. So I'm guessing they're gonna go for Trick Room. So they're gonna get Clear Body. They have Download. Just kidding. I'm thinking Thunderbolt and Max Steel Spike into Porygon. I think this should hopefully be enough. I know that. Oh, they are maxing Goodra, right? Is that, they could be maxing Porygon? No. Okay, so they're gonna max Goodra, which does put me in a little bit of an awkward place, especially given. Well, I mean, I was obviously going to be faster than Metagross, so now Goodra does tend to carry max Flare. So that actually has the chance to knock out Metagross, but what I'm thinking is if they don't, and they trigger the policy, I will be able to stop their Trick Room really effectively. They're gonna Ally Switch, which is always fun. Here comes the Thunderbolt. It's going to do nothing. Love that. Then we're going to see most likely an Ooze. Ooh. Cool. So they're going to get a special attack boost. Yeah, what's tricky is Zapdos doesn't have good damage into Goodra. I've seen Goodra a lot lately, and I think it makes sense. We do get a pretty fair amount of damage onto the Goodra with that attack. But what I'm thinking now is they go for a Flare. What did I bring with me? I brought Do I switch out into Lele? No, I'm gonna switch out into Porygon, and I'm gonna go for another Steel Spike. Yeah, because if they go for Flare, at this point, I obviously need to live. We are going to get Zap Zipper on Porygon, not very helpful. And they're just going to go for Hailstorm, which is fine for me. That actually did a lot more than I would have liked it to. We're going to be able to now get off another Steel Spike. So now if they set up Trick Room, this is good for us because of the fact that Metagross will move before Goodra. And I can then go for... so they're not going to go for that. They're just going to Ice Beam into Porygon. The Porygon takes more than I would have liked. I think, though, getting... Yeah, there's no way Porygon's going to live this turn. I'm going to still go for the Recover. There is a chance they choose not to target it. And then... Let's try and get a Quake Off into Goodra. Goodra's going to ooze into Porygon, which, yeah, that's going to finish me off. But we are going to get rid of Goodra. And then... Oh, the fear, though, is if they Trick Room this turn, which is actually an option, because they can... I think they might do that. If they Trick Room this turn, they're going to have Porygon at +2 special attack. But the question is still, like, what do you do from there? But they could bring out Marowak. That's what I'm afraid of them Trick Rooming in Marowak. Because I don't actually have... Oh, they're just going to Ice Beam, which is pretty fine with me. I think bring back Zapdos at this point. Or, no, I bring out Lele. Because I want the terrain for... Steel Roller into the Porygon. So I think being able to Steel Roller this turn and then Pyukumuku. Pyukumuku is what enters out, and when it faints, you lose like HP equal to how much HP it had left, right? I forget what Pyukumuku does. If Lele wasn't specs, I was like, oh, I can just self-target with Shadow Ball. Let's not do that. Let's Moonblast into Porygon and Steel Roller into Porygon. There is the fear of... there is the fear of Ally Switch, but they're not going to go for that. We are going to do a sizable chunk, and then Steel Roller. Never have seen this animation before. This is wild. Nice. That was genuinely one of the coolest animations I've seen, but I don't think... Pyukumuku, oh, it can soak, but like that, what? I'm now a water type, and I still have Lele with the the specs. We do lose the psychic terrain, but I think that animation was definitely worth it. And let's see what my opponent has as their last one. Their last one is Vileplume, which I'm going to switch out Lele into Zapdos, and then go for a Zen Headbutt onto Vileplume. This is a little bit tricky because of the fact that Vileplume. Oh, Vileplume is so slow. Wow. We do get the Zen Headbutt off. They do get an Effect Spore, and that's actually really funny because Metagross is a water type right now. It is what is it called? It is poisoned. So, Zapdos is also poisoned. And now Zapdos is poisoned and has Life Orb and is taking Hail Chip. So, not necessarily the best day for Zapdos. I think because of the fact that Metagross is faster, I have Specs Lele with Psychic, I want to target down Pyukumuku. So I'm going to Thunderbolt here, and I think Zen Headbutt once again, just trying to get more flinches and more damage onto Vileplume. But the Pyukumuku goes for Protect. I think that was a very smart option. We are gonna hopefully connect with this Zen Headbutt, yeah, we do get the Zen Headbutt off, which is nice. And then that looks like a crit. Not a crit. Wow. Cool. So, oh, no more hail. And then what we can do is we can also just at this point switch out Metagross into Tapu Lele, and that should seal the game, because I can't. I mean, my opponent could try and just protect stall. I mean, yeah, that is a viable option. Just go for as many protects as you can, but I can bring out Tapu Lele, and with the Psychic Surge and Psychic and Specs, I don't really see much living that type of a hit. But I do expect my opponent just to try and protect stall to finish this one out. Which, yeah, that's their best option. We do connect with a Thunderbolt this time with Zapdos. That's going to do enough to finish off the Pyukumuku. Cool. Oh, crit. I don't think that mattered in the end, because they would have missed again, and Tapu Lele isn't poisoned. So I could have swapped between Zapdos and Metagross and then finish them off with Psychic. So, yeah, I mean, this was a really great video, I think, to show off most of this team. Unfortunately, my favorite member, which is Slurpuff, did not make an appearance. Let's check out their team, but it hopefully will tomorrow. Oh, Shiny Alolan Marowak is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and I wish, yeah, I'm gonna hunt this next because I love it way too much. Thunder Punch is pretty cool. I think that's not tech you see every day. And wow, oh wow, they have quite a bit of medals. Can I click on them? You can't click on them? That's no fun. This must have traveled far. Porygon with Recover Ally Switch, yeah, that played a pretty big role. We do see Sapsipper Goodra, which, like I said, feel like I've seen everywhere. I think it's just like very good tech into, what's it called, into Torkoal Venu, being able to resist Torkoal's hits and Venusaur's, because of that Sapsipper, and the fact that it is so especially bulky really just gives it good options into them. Vileplume with a Focus Sash, what is that trying to do? Strength Sap, Toxic Giga Drain, Moonblast, yeah, that would have let it survive pretty well. And then Weezing, standard Weezing, and finally Pyukumuku. Ooh, cool. I don't know what triggers that berry, but that's exciting. Nice. Cool. So good job with this team. We'll play some more with it. Definitely tomorrow, maybe the day after, and hopefully then will Slurpuff get his chance to shine. But until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.